Hi, everyone. I'm going to read you some of chapter 2 of Humphrey. Let's see. Okay. Do it in here. Chapter 2 is called Upset Pet. I'd had bad days before. The worst day was when Miss Mack left. She was the substitute teacher who found me at Pedorama and brought me to room 26. She almost broke my heart by moving to Brazil, which is so far away. I'd also overcome problems before, like getting Mrs. Brisbane and her husband Bert to go from not liking me to liking me a whole lot. But I never had a problem like this: how to make friends with a frog. Back in my early days at Pedorama, I had met guinea pigs, mice, rats, gerbils, and chinchillas in a small pet department. If there were frogs around, it must have been because they must have been over with the fish and the less interesting pets. After school was over, Mrs. Brisbane gathered up her coat, gloves, books, and walked over to Og and me and said, "Well, fellows, you're on your own tonight. Have fun." And with that, she left. I recall the first night I was alone in room 26. As it slowly got dark outside, I slowly got scared inside. I would have liked a friend to talk to that night. Maybe Og felt the same way. Like Tabitha, Og was new to the class, and I thought I should try to make friends with him. Mrs. Brisbane had also said it's not easy to be new. You should always listen to your teacher. "Don't worry, Og," I squeaked to him. "They'll all be back tomorrow, and Aldo will be here later." I waited for an answer. All I heard was silence. I knew he probably couldn't understand me. Still, I'd learned to understand what humans said, and for the most part, they seemed to understand me when I chose to squeak up. Surely, I could do as well with the frog. I decided to try again. "Can you hear me?" I squeaked as loudly as possible. Either he couldn't hear me or he was just plain rude. I couldn't see him very well from my cage, with my wheel, my ladders, tree branches, sleeping house, and mirror. Since I knew Aldo wouldn't come in to clean the room for hours, I decided to introduce myself. As an experienced and well loved classroom pet, I could share my wealth of knowledge about the schedule, the students, and the studies in room 26. Og could come to me for advice whenever he wanted. After all, you can learn a lot by taking care of another species, Mrs. Mack had told me. Surely that included frogs. I easily opened the door to my cage. It has a lock that doesn't lock. However, I'm the only one who knows about that. To humans, it looks like it's tightly latched, but trust me, it's not. "I'm coming over, Og," I announced. Again, there was no response. I scampered over to meet my new roommate anyway. The glass tank had a big dish of water on one side and pebbles and plants on the other. There was a screen over the top. Sitting under a large green plant was a large green lump. I tiptoed over close to the glass and peered in. The lump was even uglier than I first thought, at least compared to me. After all, I am a golden hamster with soft fur, dark eyes, and a little pink nose. Intelligent humans such as Miranda Golden and Saya have told me I am cute. This Og thing, on the other hand, was a sickening shade of green with bulging eyes and not a bit of fur on him. Even worse, he had a huge mouth as wide as his whole body that curved up at the ends as if he were grinning. He didn't look happy, just creepy. I tried not to shudder. "Allow me to introduce myself. I am your neighbor, Humphrey," I squeaked as politely as possible. No answer. Maybe he couldn't hear me. After all, he didn't have cute rounded ears like me. He didn't seem to have ears at all, but at least he could see that I was acting in a friendly manner. "Og." Stepping closer, I squeaked a little bit louder this time. "Even though we don't know each other, I'm happy to extend the paw of friendship." Then, with no warning at all, Og lunged right at me and let out a very loud boing. I must have leapt a foot backwards. Og couldn't get through the glass, but goodness, he startled me. "I was only trying to be friendly," I told him, backing up towards my cage. Boing! He sounded like a broken guitar string. I sneered a peek at him. Was that grin a leer or a sneer? My heart was still pounding as I darted back into my cage and slammed the door behind me. Some friend Og was, scaring me like that. I tried to put myself in his shoes, like Miss Brisbane said, but he didn't wear any. Neither did I, for that matter. I grabbed the tiny notebook and pencil from behind my mirror. Mrs. Mack gave them to me. No one in room 26 knew about them. No one knew I could read and write. Writing helps me sort out my thoughts, and I had a lot of thoughts rolling through my brain that night. not all of them nice.